So Halloween just passed, and a lot of people like Halloween just cause they can get a free candy. And to be honest, that's a really good deal, you know? You can get a free calorie just by doing nothing. But for me, I can like Halloween cause I can stand people knocking on my door at night. And even if I put a bucket outside my house, the first kid just gonna take the whole thing. And after that, people just gonna start knocking on my door again. So I thought the perfect solution here is to basically make the bucket buff as hell. So how would you design a bucket that lets you take only one candy? So here's my idea. You have the bucket that has a candy inside, and you will have a weight sensor on the bottom, and then the weight sensor will tell its weight to something called the Arduino, which you can basically think of as the big brain of the whole machine. Now by measuring each weight of the candy, we can find out how much candy the person took. Let's say that each candy weighs 10 grams for now, then the bucket would have 20 grams. If that 20 gram turned into 10 gram, we know the person took only one candy. If the person took more than one candy, I'll use motor to drive a iris mechanism that will grab the person's hand. So the person can remove their hand only if they have one candy. I already have most of this designed and built because I started making this machine last year. Unfortunately, I couldn't build this machine before last year's Halloween, and to make things even worse, somebody decided to steal my laptop, so all my code is already gone. The remaining of this machine is now sitting in my closet for a few months, dusting up. About time to get out this year-old machine because it's like October 25th and Halloween's coming up. First, I cleaned the dust off the machine because honestly, it looks absolutely disgusting right now. After that, I took out some parts and analyzed which part I needed and which part I didn't need. This was important because when I was trying to build this last year, there's a lot of parts I built that I didn't really need for this version. So once I got this all organized, I got the 3D printing ready and started my building process. While it was 3D printing, I soldered long wires on one of the components so I can actually assemble it. I don't remember what happened, but I must have got really tired of assembling because I just decided to calibrate the weight sensor instead. The weight sensor definitely works now, but the consistency is really bad. As you can see, it has like plus minus 3 or 2 grams, but I'm just gonna have to work with it because it's not like I have time to buy another weight sensor. Also, thank you so much for Hot Electronics for making a really easy guide for calibrating weight sensor. At this point, my 3D print was done, but for some reason got decided when you design, it no work first time. So I went back on Fusion C60 to redesign some parts. At this point, I want to mention that this doesn't look anything like a bucket, and that's because I'm using a shelf from my old disk so I can reuse it. So sorry for kind of lying, it's not going to look like a bucket at all. It's going to look more like a 2 Minecraft Tower Cube blocks stacked on each other. Well, now that I redesigned some parts like fixing the gears and making the iris mechanism not spiky, also made some parts look more thick, it's time to 3D print some more redesigned parts. Now that I got all my parts printed, time to continue assembling.
Fantom.
here's the machine. As you can see, it says take only one candy on it, and I'll talk about the camera in operation part later, but let me just show you how the machine works but in more detail. What kind of workaround? Anyways, the iris mechanism is closed at first, and you have to press this button to open it. But what actually happens when you press the button is that it sends signal to my phone, and I can click open or close. Now here is where the camera becomes useful. I don't want a person to take one candy twice, so I'll look into the camera and check if it's a new person, and if it is a new person, then I'll click open. If it's not, then I'll just press close and nothing happens. So this is how I plan to prevent one person from taking one candy over and over again. But did it even work? Well, it kinda did, but no. So the camera actually works, but since it streams the camera footage to my Wi-Fi and I put the machine really far away from the router, I could barely see what was going on. Well, there was another major problem. Whenever you take the candy out of the machine assumes that you only took one candy. So whenever you take no candy, it messes up the weight. I could have easily fixed this problem by changing this part of the code, but the reason I couldn't is because I finished this machine 9 PM on Halloween's day. So I was kinda too late. But surprisingly, some people still came, so here's a footage of them. Also, my little brother did amazing acting, so here it is.
Maybe there's more than this thing. Press. Hello? Give me all of your candy. I'll take all the candy for myself. Ah! Huh? Let's take another one. Let's take another. Hey!
Well, that's a project. I wouldn't call this much of a success, so I'll make a better version next year. Also, I'll make other engineering/3D printing videos, so if you're into this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.